There we go.
Oh, whoops. LinkedIn says you're not approved for LinkedIn Live. Ah! But apparently we're live everywhere else. So,
Okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Bearded Men of Real Estate Show. I'm Ray. This is Dan. So say hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
And we are two bearded men who are real estate agents and hosts of the Bearded Men of Real Estate Show, which seems apropos. And as you heard, right as we went live, it said, whoops, LinkedIn says you're not approved to go to LinkedIn Live. It's only available for limited group of members. Oh, okay. Well, we tried. But we are on YouTube Live right now for the first time. So that's pretty fun. Using some new technologies. If you are joining us live, you could comment and then we could talk about you or your comment, just like Melissa Mara. She says, hey, hi.
We tried to make LinkedIn relevant again, but they don't want it.
Pete Thor says LinkedIn schminkton. Yes. Yeah. Actually, I think that's almost exactly verbatim of what Dan said before the show. He said, who goes on there anyway? But
we were it's funny because when LinkedIn first came out, when it was first a thing, I don't know, 2004 or 5 or something like that. It was like, it called itself LinkedIn schminkton. Now we're here. So
yeah, a lot of people didn't know that actually. Mike Elizabeth Rodell says this show is the only way I know what day Wednesday is. Eric's checking in. Hey, bearded dudes. What's up, Eric? So thank you guys so much for checking into the show. Melissa Mars said, it's a funny story. I got a call from them the other day. LinkedIn Schminkton called you? Oh, interesting. So thank you guys so much for joining the show. We got a lot to cover today. We're going to talk about a refinance fee that, if you didn't notice by the thumbnail, could be giving you the finger if you're a consumer or if you're a real estate agent. And we'll kind of talk about how and why. Weekly mortgage finances, refinances. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about housing starts and the boom that we've had, the builder sentiment. Oh my gosh, we got a bunch. Moratoriums on foreclosures, the Rona, and the huge demand for what? And then HomeLight is making some changes. Realtor.com is making some changes, which could both affect your lead gen. And we have an article submitted by Melissa Marr that we're going to talk about how people are leaving New York City. Let's see. Nick Swizik says, Dan the man.
I think it's Swizek. He's new to our team, and the kid kicks ass, like some serious ass. It's awesome.
Nice. Stacy Berry says, my in-home learners, because they decided to teach America's youth, is staring at me while I literally laughed out loud. Oh, good. Well, thanks for joining the show.
Yeah, we got a bunch of new peeps on today, so that's good times.
In-home learners, is that the PC? Is that the PC thing for homeschoolers? Are they in-home learners now?
I don't know. Distance learning, whatever.
Distance learning. I like it. Yeah, so I guess we'll try to keep it as family friendly as possible today, because you may have little ones listening to you, I guess.
Dude, on my lives, my personal lives, I don't keep them family friendly. And I had one the other day. Someone was watching and like, dude, my kid was watching with me. I'm all,
whoops,
my bad. But
I know what you're getting into. This show.
Now you know. Yeah, the Bearded Men of Real Estate, we're family friendly. Ray,
speaking of family friendly,
I'm just not.
Stacy says it's what I call them.
There you go.
Because a-holes is inappropriate.
So good. So good.
All right, you ready to well, actually, Dan, before we get into these headlines, would you tell everyone what Be More is actually all about?
You know, I would love to. Right now, Ray and I met over 3 years ago now. I mean, we're pushing like long-term friendship at this point.
Acquaintances,
long-term internet friendship.
Okay.
In internet years, this is like 50 years.
That's right.
And we remain friends and loyal hosts of the Bearded Men Real Estate Show. But when we met, I had an idea for a show because I am in fact a bearded man of real estate. And when I met Ray, I noticed something very interesting about him.
What's that?
When he goes on a jog, he only runs in reverse. Did you guys know that?
I love the backwards run.
Yeah, only in reverse. That's it, exclusively. Yep. So a little tidbit about Ray. But what I also noticed is that he loves to give value up front to his clients, which is the same thing I do. And so the show is about being more as an agent, but also being more as a human.
Yep. And it never fails that some of these articles come up in our weekly conversation with our clients. And hopefully that's a way for you to add value to the marketplace. Jim Rohn, who's a business philosopher years ago, said that if you want to get paid more, you just add more value to the marketplace. And so one of the ways to do that is by being informed on exactly what is happening, which we're going to talk about, especially this refi thing. So this is something I think that you could really use and make a post about it, make a video about it, and talk to your people about this refi thing and who they can contact. Because I think just about everyone is against it across the board. Mike Elizabeth Riddell said, "Best bearded friends forever, BBFF." Oh,
The BBFFs. We should get a necklace made, and I'll have half, and you can have half.
Yeah, and you might notice something else that's happening. Dan, can you point up into the corner of your screen there? A little more, right there. Look, there's no more duck. So we got we got the main version, I guess you could say, of StreamYard. One of the reasons we did, we're going to go with this vMix Pro thing. It's not available on Mac though, so I have to buy a PC for it. And then the Apple announced all these changes. If you were thinking about buying an Apple computer, wait and see what's coming out next, because they just announced their own silicone. So I may not want to buy a PC. So instead, we're going to.
And the program is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I've been messing with vMix for a couple weeks now.
It's so good though. I mean, the quality is incredible. Awesome. Yeah.
You can also use it just to record stuff. So I've just been recording things, but it's because there's the program itself, and then there's vMix, like the social, where you have to tie the two together, and it's cool. It's like they have tutorials for their tutorials, and it's just.
Yeah. Christina Smallhorn says, "Hello, boys," and she is a YouTuber and real estate agent.
Nice.
She goes, "You paid, yay!" Yeah. I actually really like StreamYard. Hey, speaking of Christina, check out the YouTube live stream, because it is there where it should be there.
Let's go. Hey, by the way, next time we have the CEO of a large real estate company on, he won't have the duck right over his head right there.
That was fantastic. If you missed that show, we'll link it up. But yeah, the CEO of Remax was on her show, and Tim Macy called us out there. All right, so you ready to get in these headlines?
Wait. Who?
Tim Macy, hashtag whiteboxing Tim Macy show.
Oh, yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah. Boda Cooper said, "I'm here. No more curse words." Curse words. There you go. Bless you. Hold on. What's his avatar say? Sorry for the Grand Slam.
Yeah, it's for softball. Sorry about that Grand Slam, bro.
I like it.
It's also ready to get in the headlines. It's also it's a baseball reference for just every baseball team cries about everything now. So there you go.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I'm ready. And by the way, before we go, on your YouTube page, if you go over to Ray Allen, it's got the Bearded Men of Real Estate, and it says live now. So
cool.
Should I click that and see what happens?
Yeah, go ahead. See, make sure we're on there. I don't. Let's see, Ray.
Dude,
is it live? Does it look good?
Yeah,
I can hear in the background.
Okay, I'll get rid of that. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it does say live now. How about that?
We're live on YouTube right now.
Oh, a little bit of inception there when I clicked on it, because I could see his past tense.
Yeah,
right, so there you go. I just posted the YouTube. How'd that happen? Oh, I see. So it's me. It's double posting in the chat. So I see this and I see this in the chat whenever I post something, because it posts on YouTube and it posts on Facebook.
Wow. Yeah. Dude, this is great.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Alrighty. High-end transitions.
Nice.
As I said last week when we had a special guest on the show, the transitions are better when you talk about the transitions.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about this new financing rule. It's actually a fee, and some say it could roil the mortgage market.
ROIL.
ROI. Right. So as one headline put it, Fannie and Freddie are giving consumers the finger with its new refinance fee. So let's get to the brass tacks. Fannie and Freddie say that there's some risky loans that are being made based on the increase in debt to income ratios in the 40s and 50%. And, quote, in light of economic uncertainty. So instead of increasing the fees for those loans, the Federal Housing and Finance Agency announced a new mortgage refinancing fee that could cost homeowners an extra $1,500 on a $300,000 loan. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
So the fee is across the board on refinances, which is interesting. It does not even impact the new mortgages, especially the new mortgages that are deemed high risk. The fee is the absolute wrong policy at the wrong time. It's a quote from Vince Malta, the president of the National Association of Realtors, who's actually been pretty quiet on a lot of stuff. We haven't talked about him much this year.
I know. I feel like he needs to step his game up.
Has been the Rona. It directly contravenes the administration's own directives for federal agencies to do no harm to homeowners during the coronavirus crisis. It is especially troubling since the homeowners during the coronavirus is especially troubling since the GSEs use their profits from refinances to support home buyers in underserved markets, meaning those communities already suffering the most will be harmed the most by this action. Home values in residential real estate are the rock of the American economy right now, and we should do everything we can to protect lower cost. We should do everything we can to lower costs for households during this crisis and not make home ownership more expensive. Sorry, that was a mouthful. So that was a quote from the article on the National Association of Realtors. Really interesting. Christina says, "Yo, she's does it? Yeah,
that's from YouTube.
On the YouTube. That's pretty cool.
Yeah."
She said, "You need to get super chats on here, then I can give you some chat YT money." Heck yeah.
Wait, is that like donations?
Yeah.
Wait, what have we been doing this whole time? Why
we were selling t-shirts?
What's going on? We've been a little too grassroots.
So anyway, this refinance thing is interesting. What I found the most troubling kind of echoes what they say is that it's not even handling the issue that they say they're concerned about. It's going after the equity, and there was like $2 trillion in equity that we talked about, which is actually now the value of Apple. But there was $2 trillion in equity around the United States that people had. So they started refinancing, and they've been refinancing. And as they're refinancing, now there's this additional 50 basis point fee that is going to go on all of the new mortgages. So it's pretty troubling.
Well, and it's, I don't know. We had Frank Garay on last week, and it's essentially what it seems like is it's a way to cut volume down because they have so much volume happening right now.
But they shouldn't be as concerned about the volume as the banks themselves.
Exactly. I know. And that's where Frank was saying the banks themselves are raising and lowering credit requirements, for, where your credit score needs to be at, where you be at to where you can qualify. So that's how they're cutting back a little bit right now because demand is so crazy and they're having trouble getting through the loans that they already have. But this is like from the tippy top, I guess, adding this fee that they have to. So essentially, yeah, a refinance is going to cost someone money.
Yeah.
And they usually have closing costs and stuff. But if this is going to add, I wish we have one of our contributors. I wish he was on here today.
Per 300,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not great.
So if you were going to refi your $450,000 mortgage, that's more than $1,500. Yeah. I wish we had one of our contributors on here.
Who are you looking for specifically?
I don't want to necessarily call him out. I don't know.
Daisy Carver says, "Where you be at? We be right here.
We'd be right here." So no, I don't want to necessarily call him out, but he had a point of view on this, saying it's not a fee. But every article I've read about this says it's a fee.
It's a fee. I don't understand why it wouldn't. Their own bulletin
says it's a fee.
Says it's a fee.
Right, and then some say
Pete Thorpe.
Math is hard, but it's also how it's going to get passed on, who it's going to get passed on to, and how far down the line it's going to get passed on. But most articles say it's $1,500 per 300,000. So
yeah,
Fannie and Freddie just went.
Yep.
That was not family friendly for our viewers, but it is for our listeners.
Maybe a little bit. I like that.
So we pass. It's okay. Oh, I need
All
this.
Right. So speaking of refinance applications.
Let's see. Almost like someone plans this. Weekly mortgage refinances fall as Fannie and Freddie screw over homeowners. No, I'm just kidding. As interest rates suddenly turn higher. So we covered it on last week's show, but interest rates had a sharp and sudden uptick. So what did that do for refinance volume? Well, that pulled the total mortgage application volume down 3.3% from the previous week, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association's seasonally adjusted index. As you'll recall, the average contract interest rate for 30-year fixed rate mortgages increased rather abruptly to 3.13%, still crazy historically low, from 3.06%. This is a quote from Joel Kahn on my new high-def camera. You can really see it. Kahn. I don't want to yell into the mic, though. Positive economic data reported last week and on retail sales, as well as a large U.S. Treasury auction. All stuff that doesn't really matter. But what it did do is it drove mortgage rates to their highest level in 2 weeks. So stronger economy means, more people working means you can move the rates up a little bit. The rise in rates caused refinance demand to drop 5% for the week. But here's always my favorite stat. It's still 38% higher than a year ago. So nothing crazy, but still 38% higher is pretty good difference. Yeah. The annual gain continues to shrink. What? The annual gain. So you're still gaining. It's just shrinking. You're gaining slower than you were a year ago, right?
Right.
Last month, refinance demand was more than 100% higher than a year ago. The difference now is that interest rates are narrowing the gap to where they were a year ago. While they were a full percentage point lower annually last month, they are now 77 basis points lower, making fewer borrowers able to benefit from a refinance. So what have we learned on the show, Ray? Refinances are extremely rate sensitive.
Yeah.
So now as the word of, them, they're already rate sensitive, but then as word of this new fee, yes, it's a fee, jumps out there, then I expect this number to go down and down.
I wonder if we have lenders that watch the show too. Actually, one just checked in. Cooper Skelton says, hey, buddy. I wonder if they're so rate sensitive because people that are working with refinances, when they see it start to tick up a little bit, maybe they're like, well, let's not lock in this week because it just ticked up again. Let's wait for it to go back down. And so I wonder if it's the lock-ins for the refis that are more rate sensitive when the lender has it. No, it says the refinance application. So that'd be prior to anyone getting any kind of lock, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know when they call it an application.
Well, and all my sellers that that have that refi question, it's always they always do the math. So it's not going to really save much. Now there's this extra fee. I don't know. They're always doing math. So I don't think people are doing math weekly with the rates going up and down. But if they hear they went down to 3%, they're like, ooh, that's going to save me another, $48 a month or 65 grand over the course of the loan.
Pete Thorpe says it's the government pulling money out of the lender's pocket because they're making too much money in the government size. He's talking about that ReFi fee.
Mm-hmm.
Well, from everyone I've talked to on the lending side, that fee is being passed right to the consumer.
Oh, Fannie Freddie.
Pete Thorpe said, "What's amazing is that rates are still at or near historic lows. So people whining, oh, the rates are up. Why would I refi? Are just foolish. You think that we were back in the 80s with 12% rates. Quit your bitching." I think I said that right.
Yeah. In the 90s, it was 17% or 19% or something crazy.
Yeah, I was talking about that with one of my clients, and they said the first house they bought, they felt really lucky that they got an 8%.
Yeah, that's still, when I first started in the business, I think they were around 7 or 6 or somewhere around there. So 9 years ago.
Well, let's talk about what's going on with housing starts, because that's always interesting. At the very beginning of the year, we talked about housing starts, and it looked like housing starts were going to be up 13%. And then the corona happened and all this other stuff. And it kind of tampered some of the expectations that people had for new construction for a little while, just because we didn't know anything that was going on. So let's take a look. Housing starts soar 22.6% in July. And that's according to the latest data from the Census Bureau. That's up from June, by the way. That's not like a year over year. That's a fast surge. So single family starts rose 8.2%. And multifamily was up 58.4%. Building permits rose 18.8% to 1.5 million units and 22.5% for multifamily permits. So this is a quote from First American Deputy Chief Economist Odetta Kushi. It says the year-over-year increase in permits, starts, and completions indicates that builders are eagerly responding to record low mortgage rates, a limited supply of existing homes for sale, and a sturdy demand driven by millennials aging into home ownership. But rising materials costs may dampen that momentum in the months to come. The nerd wallet, which we've never quoted on the show, Holden Lewis, home mortgage expert at NerdWallet. This was, oh wait, where'd my, there, all right, here it is. This was his quote. He said, "This is the strongest pace of housing starts in the pandemic era. We need a strong pace of housing starts like this because there's a tremendous pent-up demand for homes. When these homes are completed, some of the buyers will sell affordable homes to first-time buyers." And that's something that we've been talking about a long time, Dan.
A very long time.
So Christine says, my volume is super low. I know. I think I need a new... Maybe that's slightly higher, but I think I need a new mixer because I maxed out on the volumes on the mixer.
I have extras right now. Do you want me to send you one? I can send you this one. Or
I need a Focusrite. Right now I'm on a Mackie Pro FX8. If you're a YouTuber and you want to know.
Yeah, I have the Focusrite as well. It works. You sound fine to me, so it's weird.
So just crank it up, Christina. Anyway, this housing starts information is really interesting. One of the things they were talking about a little bit was the materials, which I know you're going to get into too.
Well, so yeah, that's really awesome news, right? That's great. Mm-hmm. More and more housing starts because we're 1.8 million homes low right now.
Yep.
But so this is from the bittersweet files. Homebuilder sentiment jumps to a record high, but soaring lumber prices could dampen momentum. So it's like finally, for literally the first time ever on the show, things are catching up because it's the highest we've ever reported on the show. And I think the article will say it, but the highest since highest in the 35-year history of the monthly series, the sentiment, and the record high was in 1998. So it's straight up the highest in 22 years. But lumber prices. But soaring lumber prices could dampen the momentum. So potential buyers flooded into model homes across the nation, and that has builders feeling better about their business than at any time over the past 20 years. But rising lumber prices could chop down. They could chop down the market's momentum this fall. Someone thinks he's a writer. Builder confidence in the newly built single-family home market jumped 6 points. That's a really big jump in this average to 78 in August on the National Association of Home Builders / Wells Fargo's Housing Market Index. Anything above 50 is considered positive. So the index is now at the highest level in the 35-year history of the monthly series and matches the record set in December of 1998. Builder sentiment plunged to 30. Remember that, Ray? Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Plunged to 30 in April. So it was like, no, we're not building houses. We don't know what's up. We're just going to stop kind of thing. We don't feel very confident about it. And then the market did the opposite. And there's a quote from Chuck Folk that's going to mirror this in 1 second. And they were like, dang it. So that was when the Rona shut down the U.S. economy, but it recovered quickly as consumers suddenly sought more space. That's a fun sentence, eh? Consumers suddenly sought more space in less urban areas. So the NAHB chairman, Chuck Folk, said to CNBC, the V-shaped recovery, which we kind of called on the show, right? The V-shaped recovery for housing has produced a staggering increase for lumber prices, which have more than doubled since mid-April. The cost of lumber is soaring not only because of increased demand, but because mills shut down in April and May and did not expect to see the kind of strong demand they're seeing now. So there have also been issues with transportation and labor. So we're finally seeing like, cool, we're going to get on the track to have those 1.8 million homes, Ray. But wait, we're not going to do that.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
Let's get to this important quote. Christina says, you sound like you're whispering real estate to make mortgage rates sound sexy.
It's our ASMR segment of the show.
Yeah. Now let's talk about lumber.
We're live on Facebook, so we have to.
There you go.
We have to do some ASMR.
We're going to talk about the wood. So we've been talking about land, labor, and materials for a long time, and how one of the hangups last year, I think we were talking about for housing affordability, was that the builders couldn't build them fast enough because both land and materials. So it sounds like now you have builders willing to build again. It's still the same issues that it was last year and the year before.
Oh, and by the way, Bo's been on the show before, but he's as I reminded everybody, he's at the very, very beginning of the process. So finds and secures lands and then gets all permits. And his job is very, very expansive. So I'm probably butchering it, but he knows what he's talking about. Look at that. Boom.
He said the average builder profit on a new home sale is 7% plus or minus. Not that great. Really? I thought it was more than that. That's not enough for me to become a builder ever.
Yeah. So sentiment is up, but you're not going to make much.
You're not going to make much.
Yeah.
So one of the things that could relieve some of the supply constraints if the builders can't get sticks in the ground is foreclosures. And one of the big issues that we've had is that homes have not been foreclosed on because of foreclosure moratoriums. Even those homes that should be foreclosed on, totally unrelated to the Rona, are not foreclosed on. So we see
that's like when a death gets categorized as the Rona, but it wasn't. It was like 18 bullet wounds.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's the same thing.
Moratoriums keep foreclosures nearly non-existent. So this article is from the Realtor Mag. Delinquencies climb, however, foreclosure activity continues to be low. In July, 8,892 properties received a foreclosure filing, which includes default notices, scheduled auctions, or bank repossessions. That's down 83% from a year ago. So if you look at what should happen, like what's normal, last year you would say that was pretty normal. Right now it's down 83%. Instead of being like, oh, it was even to what last year was, so we're not seeing an increase in the number of foreclosures due to Corona. No, it's 83% less. Let's go back to the article. Let's see. Nationwide, just 1 out of every 15,337 housing units had a foreclosure filing in July. Here's a quote. It's inevitable that there will be a significant increase in foreclosures once these moratoriums have expired, although it's unlikely that we see default rates reach the levels that we saw during the Great Recession, says Rick Sharga. He's the executive vice president at Realty Track, a real estate data firm. Here's a quote from Matthew Gardner. He's a chief economist at Windermere Real Estate. He told Realtor.com at the end of July, quote, will there be some fallout? Of course. But I think that, I'm just going to start that over. Will there be a fallout? Of course. But I don't think it will be enough to cause housing prices to drop. Here's a pretty cool little graph. Here, Dan, I'll bring you back up for this part too. All right, so there's a pretty cool little graph on here. The foreclosure starts by county.
Ooh.
Area, but check it out. Los Angeles, California. 234. Cook, Illinois was the other highest. And Harris, Texas. Harris, Texas shows no mercy. And then Baltimore, Maryland had 73. So that's not a lot when you think about the number of homes in those areas.
Well, when this all started going down in mid-March, I mean, we shut down our business as far as like following up and saying, are you ready to buy? Are you ready to sell? That kind of stuff. And we prepped for foreclosures to start happening.
7. There's been 7 in my area. No wonder. So one of the issues that we had, Dan, I lost you. You're like colored line. Oh, you're back.
You're like that's that button, Ray.
Melissa Mara said, wow, Ray can speak English today. She probably meant can't. Wow, Melissa can't type today. Okay, boom.
Well, I think she was being sarcastic, maybe.
No, she wasn't being sarcastic.
Oh, no, she just can't type. Yeah. Boom, roasted.
Boom, roasted. All right, so that graph or the chart and it's on magazine.realtor. So if you go to magazine.realtor, this article is there and you kind of search for your area. But that's really crazy how few foreclosures there are given what it should look like if everything was normal. She says she was being sarcastic, but I don't believe her. One of the things that happened I had a client that put in an offer on a foreclosure, and then they had to re-foreclose. They had to take all their foreclosures off the market and re-foreclose all the foreclosed properties. I don't know if that had anything to do with the Rona. I think it had to do with an attorney finding some kind of loophole in the paperwork. But still, I wonder if that was related to the foreclosure moratorium. Moratorium?
Yes.
She said, I'll let everyone know when I'm having issues typing. Thank you. You're welcome.
She's on fire today.
Feisty.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was an interesting piece of info, especially if you're a investor. There hasn't been a lot for you to buy if you're a foreclosure investor.
Yeah, I'm thinking through it as we go, because I hadn't really thought about it in the last 5 months. When we started, we were literally having office calls about this, which was, okay, there's going to be more than this. You got to be very sensitive about what people are going through, which obviously we still do. But there was, a lot of people are going to be unable to pay, and other people are going to lose in their homes. So we have to take that approach as we go, and we have to be very careful and very sensitive. But yeah. And I think it's interesting. The homes that should be foreclosed upon aren't.
Yeah, even the ones that are totally unrelated due to the moratoriums. Now, you posted an article in the Be More Contributors that some judges are doing away with the moratorium and allowing people to go ahead and foreclose. So I suspect that we'll see more and more. And you know what the media is going to do? It's been 82% lower, right? So there's a lot of catch-up paperwork that's going to happen. There's a lot of catch-up foreclosures that are going to happen, and the market's going to be flooded with the foreclosures.
There's going to be a spike.
And it's going to be a spike in foreclosures that is it's going to be the year-over-year monthly number is 120% higher than last October or whatever it is. Right. However, when you look at the annual number, it's probably going to be about the same, if not a little more. So be prepared for that as you're reading the headlines and looking at the info. There's no doubt that there's going to be a spike, but it's going to be a spike because people are trying to catch up on what should have been foreclosed a long time ago.
Susie Orman was right.
It's going to make her look, ironically, it'll make her look right for a very brief time in history. And she'll come out with an I told you so, I'm sure.
Something.
Jeff Reagan said, is there a high increase in homes being sold that normally would be foreclosed on, but now are sold traditionally instead? I don't think so, because I haven't seen a lot of short sales. So normally a foreclosed home is being sold foreclosed because it couldn't be sold short. And I haven't seen any reports about an increase in short sales. That's what I would be looking for. If there was a 50% increase in short sales, then that tells me that the people that were upside down that normally would have been foreclosed on haven't been foreclosed on because the moratorium. So the bank got rid of those properties through the short sale. That's what I would think I would see.
Well, and another thing that may be happening is that people that have to sell or need to sell or were maybe going to be upside down now have a little bit more in equity because of the market and where it's at. So it's possible that they're getting out of the short sale and foreclosure situation.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're underwater 200 grand, there's not, it's not going to fix that much. But, if you're close, well, I mean, some on, if you go to sell a home, even if we, move the numbers around to where it's really close, some people can't afford to sell a home. So now that's a possibility. And then they can get out of it and either go rent or move in with parents and save or do whatever, because, until they're unfurloughed or whatever the case may be.
So I just typed increase in short sales into the Google News, and the last news article that I'm finding is from 2012.
Which
so I'm not seeing
that was a lot of shadow inventory then. So
it was a lot of shadow inventory, and one of the things that they were doing is short selling because they couldn't keep foreclosing, so they were trying to dump them faster through short sales. So there was a short time period where you could really close a short sale fairly easily.
If you are a wholesaler.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about the Rona and what people are demanding because of it.
It sparks a huge demand for clean home technology innovations. By the way, I keep looking at the wrong camera. I have both cameras up here. I have a sky cam and I keep looking at the wrong one. The Rona has not only changed our daily lives, but also our housing needs. Beyond design and space, Housing cleanliness is now paramount. New technology that claims not just to clean, but sanitize our living spaces. Clean and sanitize. Is that like hear and listen? Is in high demand. Everybody, as a quote from the CEO of Vital VO, I think that's how you say it, Vital and then VIO. Her name is Colleen Costello. Everybody has the spotlight on these germ problems right now. A lot of germ issues were here before the Rona and the Rona. And unfortunately, people are taking a harder look now at how we are really investing to make cleaner and safer places. So the Vital VO technology uses visible light to alter the action in cells of bacteria, mold, and fungi, aka me.
No.
I'm a fun guy. I can't help it. I'm a dad. I can't help it. But not in those of humans, pets, and plants. So it doesn't alter this action in cells, only of bacteria. So that provokes a toxic reaction within the cells that leads to death. So ominous. VO's lighting goes into various other products like under cabinet lighting, which I actually think that one's pretty cool. You put that product into the lighting, and then essentially your countertops or whatever's being hit by that light is essentially always clean, quote unquote, sanitary, right?
No, I'm going to be totally paranoid about this. Like constantly, if I had this, I would look at it all the time. I don't know that this would be that helpful for me. Almost don't want to know.
Yeah, I don't think it shows anything. I think it just sanitizes it because it caused that reactions in the cells.
Oh, I thought look at the picture that we're looking at. I thought
no.
KitchenAid. Like the news stories that had that where you turn on the light and you can see where, the salmonella poisoning is everywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't do that.
Okay, good. Never mind.
I think it just causes that reaction because that would drive me insane. It would. I mean, everyone would flip out with the amount of bacteria that's in our normal lives, right?
Oh, it actually kills it. That's right. You said that it kills it. It doesn't.
It kills this. It causes a reaction in the cell. So if you haven't, if you're not part of RETV, by the way, Real Estate TV, go join the group. It's a really awesome group. If you're thinking about doing video, or if you do a lot of video, it's a really great group. But Tim Macy of the Tim Macy Show and #whiteboxing posted in there about Mark Rober. Mark Rober's awesome. He actually might have posted in the YouTube mastermind, but he's really awesome with engagement. And he did a piece about actual bacteria and, highlighted what you actually touch. And oh my gosh, he tried diligently not to touch his face, still touched his face a ton of times.
Yep.
So yeah, this would not do that because it would drive people insane.
Good.
But it goes into under cabinet lighting and residential ventilators, which is kind of cool. So it cleans as you ventilate through your house. The company's lighting does not specifically kill the Rona, but better air circulation and filtration can inhibit contagion. Consumers seem less concerned about killing the virus and more concerned about creating the cleanest possible home environment. So now, if we could get more new construction homes, what if these guys partnered with them and it was this new, because you get the smart home, right? You get the efficient home. What if you got the sanitary home on top of it? Dude. Checking off all the boxes.
Well, new home, clean and sanitary, and you can keep it clean and sanitary.
It sanitizes itself, Ray.
So, you may have already said this. Let me look back at this article. I was reading it as you were going through it. Does it also kill the good bacteria?
That we cannot. It does not say that. The article may say it, but the synopsis I pulled and
so correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the way that humans get healthier is with good bacteria.
Good bacteria. So the technology uses visible light to alter the action in cells of bacteria, mold, and fungi. So mold and fungi, sure, but what type of bacteria? So that's a great question.
Yeah. Right? Pete Thorpe's not a believer. He says demand for the latest scam.
Someone else profiting off of the Rona.
There you go. These companies profit off of coronavirus.
That's our headline on YouTube right now. And also Fannie and Freddie screw consumers.
Yeah, give you the finger. That's it.
All right, what's HomeLight up to?
All right, speaking of scam, I'm sorry. No, I'm kidding. We don't have HomeLight in our area, so I can be a little bit.
We do.
You do? Do you like HomeLight?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm kind of indifferent on it, but
Pete Thorpe says, live in a bubble when you walk around the world and you'll be far more likely to get sick. See, that's what I'm thinking too. I think you need good bacteria and stuff. So
I eat dirt constantly and I'm very, very healthy. So
yeah, I'm wondering what the pro bacteria lobby is going to say.
Contingent is saying, yeah.
Today's photo is one of my favorites. Oh, good. You the thumbnail? You like the thumbnail? Good. I had censor. If you haven't seen the thumbnail, you got to.
I like that you censored your fingers, but not the emoji. It's an emoji. You don't have to censor it.
You don't have to censor the emoji because it's the emoji. It's
right.
It's part of the language now. All right, so let's talk about this. HomeLight meets end-to-end goal with acquisition of Disclosures.io. All right, so HomeLight met its goal of becoming another one-stop shop for agents, which it seems to be all the rage lately. They acquired Disclosures.io, which is a platform that helped agents gather and share documents, view buyer activity, and manage files. Ironically, the amount of the acquisition or the cost of it, of acquiring Disclosures.io, was undisclosed.
Ironically.
HomeLight will rebrand it HomeLight Listing Management. HomeLight has previously been an agent matching company, aka a referral-based lead gen company, right, Dan? In a referral-based lead gen,
yes,
like where you pay them, kind of like OpCity, you pay them a percentage of the deal, or is it you pay them?
This is more. They're not vetted like OpCity, I don't believe.
Okay. Let's see, and now they have a listing and transaction back end too, ish. So let me quote from the article. And I'd love if you guys are from Northern California specifically, I would really love to hear what you have to say about what they quoted, because they're basically taking one of your models and doing business and expanding that to their services around the country. So they say that in Northern California, there's a different practice than most of the country. In Northern California, information is disseminated before offers are made. And we think that's the right way to transact real estate. The information the buyer received about a home could change the deal in terms. He added while offering examples. Oh, he is the CEO, I think. He added while offering examples of what could happen after inspection, appraisal, pulling the title report. An inspection is typically done after the contract. If the inspection reveals a termite problem in the deck, that's a big deal. Is his name, U-H-E-R, said,
I don't know.
As much information up front is not only better for the consumers, but it's also better for agents. And Pete Thorpe gives us additional information on what HomeLight is. They're a flat fee. Oh, wait.
Oh, they
outlies in their ads, claiming their agents sell on average for like 7% over asking and 2 weeks faster than non-HomeLight agents. If they roll those stats from crazy markets like California, where way over asking is common, and apply it to the rest of the country, their numbers may average out, but not logically.
Locally.
Pete Thorpe also says, ha, 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 ha. Vetted my behind. OpCity scrapes underneath the bottom of the barrel. All right, so Pete Thorpe doesn't like either of these companies, obviously. But what I thought was interesting, I watch some national programs and things like that. When I see HomeLight, they're like, this agent will sell your property for as little as 2%. So it sounds like a discount platform. And now they have end-to-end. I don't know what ends though, because they were talking about listing management and providing information up front on a house. That I don't think this is new technology, is it? I mean, we have that built into our multiple listing service. You can upload all the documents pertaining to the property right there if you wanted to.
Yeah, it's all in the supplements tab. We have a supplements tab.
So I guess this is maybe just more consumer facing.
It's another thing where they take a thing that real estate agents already do, but then they make it a feature. Here's what we do. And then consumers go, well, that's cool. I wish real estate agents did that. No, we always do that. Just NAR doesn't advertise that for us.
What we're going to do for you at Home Heavy is provide high resolution photos of your property and put them on your listing. Oh, really? Wow.
You know what we're going to provide? We're going to provide a service where agents can call and set up showings.
Pete Thorpe is so mad. He's talking about himself in third person.
He's
He also uses both of them. So he meaning himself.
That's funny. Well, if we only had a little bit more info on Realtor.com and OpCity.
Yeah, speaking of lead gen sources and how they're changing.
Okay.
Thanks for the lead in, Pete Thorpe.
I know, it's almost like he knew. Okay, so Realtor.com, because I don't want to say it right. It gives them props, and I don't want to do that because it's not ours. But Realtor.com replaces lead gen products with OpCity referral model in 60 markets. They had already done it in 12, and I think they did that a year ago, 8 months ago. It was quite a while ago. They expanded it to 12 markets. Now they've replaced it, not added to, replaced it. So if you are with Realtor.com right now, you can no longer in those 60 markets get the same kind of lead gen service that you had. It's gone. Bye-bye. I need to make sure, by the way, here. Hold on. Okay, so I'm just going to read straight from the article on this one. And this was Inman. And it starts off really curiously to me, and I might be wrong, but it says the official real estate listing site of the National Association of Realtors, Realtor.com.
Yeah, that's interesting. I read that too, and I was like, what?
That's how the article starts. The official real estate listing site of the National Association of Realtors. Now, Inman is specifically for real estate agents, and they start off an article with misinformation.
They are licensed to use it.
But it's not our official real estate listing site. No, that's the multiple listing service where we put all the
official listing site.
We don't have one. We don't have like a well, they do in Houston.
Where's Vince Malta? Somebody needs to get a quote from him.
I think I'm going to get him on the show. I need to ask him questions. But anyway, they are no longer offering lead generation products to agents in about 60 markets nationwide, opting instead to offer bottom of the barrel, and this is from the article, bottom of the barrel referral-based service exclusively. Okay, I might have added a couple words there.
Quote.
So here's the thing. It says the official real estate listing site of NAR, but then the next paragraph says Realtor.com operator Move Inc. What? They said they acquired the vetting and referral startup OpCity in 2018, and I used to use OpCity. I used to. I'll get into that in a second. But at the time, Move said it would offer both Realtor.com's traditional lead generation model, where agents vet and convert leads themselves, as well as OpCity's model, where the company first verifies the lead and directly connects the agent with the lead for a referral fee, which is 35%, by the way. But last year, Move began testing, replacing Realtor.com's traditional lead generation products with OpCity's model in some markets, where agents pay the companies a portion of their commission when they close a warm lead rather than pay up front for impressions. So I predicted that this would happen when I saw that it happened. And then again, I was using OpCity and I saw how well, how solid the leads were and what they went to. I predicted that this would happen. This is what they were doing. What they're doing is they're trying to triple dip. So essentially their agents are paying for a market to then get that referral lead and then paying 35% back to Move, essentially back to OpCity and then Realtor.com. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Through the traditional model, when consumers choose a contact an agent on a listing, that contact is sent. It's like Zillow. One of the agents who has paid for a lead generation service in that zip code. It's a way for agents, blah, 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 blah. In March 2019, Move told Inman that in light of the initial test results, the company was expanding its referral service to more than a dozen markets. Now Move is offering the OpCity model, which it calls Core Network, exclusively. So exclusively sounds like a good thing, doesn't it? No. Your other lead gen service just went away. Now it's OpCity only. So I don't know. I mean, to me, so Move said more than 140,000 agents and 13,000 brokers participate in its Core Network program. I don't know, right? I mean, to me, it's kind of what Zillow's doing. What Zillow is over and over again saying that they're screwing, they're just, I don't know. They're just kind of screwing over agents more and more, but this is just another thing where they're like, cool, we're not doing that anymore. We're doing what we want because you, the realtor, helped build us up this far. Now we're going to do what we want because we got a company that makes us more money. I don't know. That's how I read it.
Okay, so a couple of things. One is you can go to the article and comment like this guy did. Who's this guy?
Ray Allen.
From the article, the official real estate, huh? All right, there you go. So be sure to go to the article on Inman. The second thing.
Who is Ray?
Yeah, he's good looking. Pete Thorpe said, it's interesting. A fellow coach just inquired in our group about Realtor. They said that Realtor underperformed by 90% the lead count that they had promised him.
Woo!
Eric said, official nothing. NAR sold off Realtor.com ages ago. Melissa Marr said money, but the give them the finger.
The bird emoji.
Christina says, by the way, it wasn't your volume. It was my computer. Oh, good. I'm glad you could hear me. And then Eric said 35% on your referral and 35% on the referrals from your referrals up to 2 years. What? No.
Yeah, it's up to 2 years. And by the way, they have now
wait, from referrals from your referral?
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck tracking that.
Yeah, I've closed sales after that, and they can come after me if you want, but you'd have no idea where that came from.
I mean, that's interesting.
So Op City, come at me, bro. Realtor.com, move, come at me, bro. Where did Ray go?
That was weird. I hit so there's a little red button at the bottom, and I was going to do the share screen, and I hit the leave studio button.
Well, I never know if it kicks me out because there's an internet issue. I was like, hi. There you go. Where did Ray go? We all missed Ray, but yeah. So they say that in the fine print, and they have these. I think they're called client rewards programs. So for those are supposed to be even hotter leads, but it's another 3%. So that's 38%.
What?
Yeah.
So Zillow is doing this flex program, which is kind of the same. I don't know if you try to owe money from referrals on referrals, but the flex program is a referral based program. Instead of sending leads, they will send you referrals. I have to say the reason why both of these companies have some success in doing this, it goes back to the real estate agents who don't make their phone calls. If someone would actually call back a lead, then they wouldn't have an end for this. They wouldn't have a reason for this. But the fact is they're sending you leads and you're not calling them. And so they then hire an ISA to then call them and then send them to you as a warm lead for 30%. And you're paying for it gladly. And if you would just return the call in the first place, there wouldn't be a business model for this. So
when Op City first came out and I first joined Op City, and it was 2016 or 17 when we jumped on with my former brokerage. And I mean, it was awesome because they would come, they were legit leads. They were all pretty hot leads, and they were 300,000. I got $1 million one. I got a $600,000 one, and they were legit. They were ready to go, and they were already vetted properly. So to me, and it was a source where I wasn't calling on these people. So it wasn't, and I was like, all right, if they don't close, I don't pay any money.
Right.
So it was coming from a source where it's essentially like if Ray called me and said, I want a little bit higher referral on this one. This is my close friend. I'm actually going to fly in and we're going to show properties together. So I was like, cool, I'll do 35%. It was kind of a no-brainer. But then I stopped getting anything over 300 grand. Nothing was within 50 miles from me. And it just got worse and worse and worse. And when I would call on them, they're like, oh no. And then with all the research I do on the show, I started calling out their model and that they're not fully disclosing what's actually happening, which now we know it actually happened. And I would say, since you were bought by Realtor.com, things have changed quite a bit. No, sir, they actually haven't. And I'm like, all right. And then eventually I just stopped updating my little app. I just stopped. And they said, if you don't update your app, if you don't keep it at whatever percentage, or if you don't update weekly, we're not going to send you any leads anymore. And I called them and said, dude, stop, leave me alone.
Yeah. Pete Thorpe said they're horrible. They call and chase anyone that closed. And that if that lead slips up and casually mentions that they sent a friend or family to you, they will come hunting for you via your broker, and they offer incentives to those closed leads to basically rat you out.
Come at me, bro.
That's not how to make friends, man. That's not how to make friends. So maybe people will start running from them, just like people are running from New York.
Escape from New York?
Yeah. A mad rush for the exits as New York City goes down the tubes, which I guess that's tubes. That's kind of an allusion to the subway, right? So this article comes to us from Melissa Marra, by the way.
It's a very gotcha-y headline, and it's also an opinion, by the way. We need to note that.
Yeah, well, I won't spend that much time on it because of that. But they're basically quoting different news outlets and stuff saying that Upper West Side's team of junkies, homeless, convicts, and others, and that there's a bunch of people that are hiring moving companies to move them out of New York City. Oz Moving says the number of relocations continues to be a substantial rate. It was booked to capacity earlier in the year than any of the previous 27 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So the fact that people are rushing for the exits continues to grow, even as new coronavirus cases have plummeted, suggests other reasons like a crime wave. The crime wave is high with muggings mysterious. All police and detectives are furious. If you don't know what that song is, then you missed the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So anyway, this article is from the New York Post. And remember, the Escape from New York, isn't that a movie, actually began long before the pandemic. Data last year, based in 2018 census, showed that the metro area was tops in the nation in net population loss, with 277 people leaving on average every day, twice the rate in 2017.
Well, and there's your answer right there from Eric. It's remember, he's upstate New York in the burbs, in the sticks kind of. So they have no inventory left thanks to New York City.
There you go.
So maybe, what does it say there? Every day, twice the rate in 2017. So this Rona has just exacerbated what was already kind of happening.
Yeah, and that's what I thought. And then Melissa Mars says, dude, same. That's what I thought. Is that it seems like Eric said he's 1 hour north of NYC here. The most interesting part to me is that there was already a change in buyer behavior, that they were already looking into a different place. They're already looking to move. So this just shows you that they're continuing to move, and now at a much higher rate. And I don't think it has as much to do with Corona as it does just the difference in buying habits. And that maybe, I did have some friends up there that are now back in Arkansas, and they said, we got stuck in the city. They wouldn't let us leave. They wouldn't let us out, and they didn't like it. And so they're moving, and now they can do remote work. As we were talking about Silicon Valley and that change when people are leaving to do remote work from there. I mean, it's been a huge change for big cities like New York too.
Having a thought. I'm going to message you right now.
Eric says, not even buyers here. Rentals are in short supply too.
Cats.
You're messaging me a thought?
Yeah, I'll message after. No, we have a friend that's in New York City. He's an agent. We should have him on the show.
We have a couple of friends in New York City, I think.
Yeah, so we should have him on the show because there's been more and more stories about this, and it kind of started our more and more buyers moving out to the burbs, out to the sticks trend. New York City did, and then same with San Francisco. Same thing did it. So now we're here, but it's interesting to hear that there was already a thing happening. So it'd be really good to know, boots on the ground style, was this already a thing? And now the Rona is heightening it.
Well, Dan, why don't you tell everybody before we leave where they can find you?
I don't know where. Right there. D-letter Grox. So my camera was doing this weird thing yesterday when I was testing this thing out. It was mirroring, and it's just a setting that I needed to find. Yeah. But it's not like that's my right hand, that's my left hand, which it shows to you guys. But on my screen, it's backwards. So when I mirrored it, it was the same, and I was like flipping out. So I can't figure out. There you go. Anyway, a D-letter Grox.
Reagan says, do you guys have a Discord channel to go along with this by chance? We don't have a Discord, but we do have a Facebook page. It's a group. So let me find the contributors link, and I'll link it up here.
I know. I looked into Discord as well the other day. It's just essentially.
Yeah, we're trying to go to one place instead of multiple places, but there it is. Oh man. Oh, that's that live thing. That's what's happening with your camera. It goes like colored bars and then comes right back.
Yeah, it turns off. So just so you guys know what's up, I have a new camera, obviously, and it has a live button that it doesn't mean live like live video, but right now, essentially, instead of using the viewfinder, it's using the actual screen on the back, and that overheats or can overheat the camera. So they have it set to 30 minutes. So I have to reset that. There is a workaround, but I'm still trying to figure it out.
Well, and you can find me at Ray Zorback, RayZorback. So follow us there. And if you're watching the YouTube, please subscribe. We hope to have more good content like this and others coming up for you. So subscribe and get notifications of next time we are live, which should be next week. So
yeah. Oh, that's kind of cool. It'll notify people when we're going to go live. Ooh, that's awesome. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everyone.